The Paddle Testers is a woman-led paddle review series powered by honest feedback from everyday players. We are not professional players or paddle insiders. We are players with different styles and needs, focused on one thing: how a paddle feels right away in real play. We believe players should not have to adjust their game to fit a paddle. First feel matters, and the best paddle is the one that complements the way you naturally play. That is the heart of the Paddle Testers: real players, real reactions, and honest feedback. Welcome back to the Paddle Testers. Thank you all for joining me. Today we all tested the Apes Plus. Some of us tested the S Plus, which is just a little bit of a different shape, but they were all foam paddles and they're the newest ones coming out from Apes. And so I want to get everybody's hot take on whether or not you would switch to the Apes paddle.
I could start if that's fine.
Okay, that'd be great. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Kelsey again. I did try the S, I believe. My first truth is I really wanted to like it. I think it could be control-y. My first thought was that it was heavy. It was heavier than I expected it to be. I had to really put movement into my wrist to get it going. And then once you get used to it, obviously it takes a minute and some hits to do it. It had nice grit. I didn't mind the shape. It was decent for some of my, I call it a slinkier shot, with some cut. I was able to put some nice cut shots in the kitchen. I really enjoy doing a fourth when they give me their third shot drop. I really enjoy putting it just barely over the net in the kitchen, and I thought it had a nice touch for that. In general, I would say probably the paddle is too heavy for me personally, and I would say I'm a pretty strong girl. I just wouldn't choose that weight personally. The regular paddle I play with is a Coral by 6-0. I just think as far as control and defense, I probably would still choose something closer to that. But the Apes paddle was fun to play with. It was nice to try. It has a good look. I wasn't upset about it, but I also don't think that I would choose it.
I'm just so shocked by Kelsey because I am also a Coral, the Coral user 6-0. I am puny compared to Kelsey.
You're little.
I'm so wee, but so little power. But I thought so. I used the all foam, the S Plus, which I have a feeling is not much different from the S, but I just thought it was so light. I just thought, oh my God, I have to put so much weight on this paddle. Every time I swung, the paddle was so far ahead of me. I'm just I can't even it just felt so light in my hands. And then because of that, it lacked a sweet spot for me. And maybe that's because I was just so ahead, or so my timing was so off that I was missing all the shots. I have actually used some of the previous Apes paddles and I really enjoyed them. This foam version, a lot of the early foam paddles to me have been really light at the top, and this one was no exception. I wouldn't mind trying it with weight on it, but at the same time, I am really looking for paddles that again are out of the box, ready to use for everyone, and different feelings, which is wild because
maybe you have very strong wrists.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm carrying
I'm
around
just strong in different areas.
No.
Yeah, right. Yeah, your wrists are tired. I get it. Yeah,
they're so sleepy.
Well, thanks, Marianne. That is funny that you guys kind of had very opposite takes on the exact same paddle. That's why they make so many paddles, because there's so many of us and we all have different likes and dislikes and needs. So, all right, anybody else want to speak about their experience with the Pulse?
I agreed with Kelsey. It was not a paddle for me. It felt very heavy from the time I picked it up to swinging through. It was good. I do agree. It was good at resetting shots. Felt like I could just oh, okay. I'm just going to go ahead and slow that one down. As far as generating power with it, felt like I couldn't get anything on it, especially from the baseline. Swinging, I felt like I was having to put my whole body into it. I have a pretty good overhead. I can put balls away for the most part. Just felt like the sweet spot just wasn't there. I think I made a comment of, man, the sweet spot's so small. And somebody was like, did you even find it? It was it's I could not. I just couldn't get the right spot.
Okay.
So yeah, it just wasn't really a good paddle for me. The grit was super nice. I do agree with that. There were a few shots I could actually misdirect and just send the opposite direction, which was great with a little bit of ease. I wasn't able to feel the ball hit the paddle, if that makes sense.
No, that's a good point.
It felt there was nothing there. With my dinks, I felt like I was really having to put a lot behind them to really feel like I was actually doing what I was supposed to do, if that makes sense.
I am in Candace and Kelsey's camp with the heaviness. I felt like with my forehand shots, I needed to bring my left hand over to support my right hand when hitting the ball. I did.
Okay.
And I couldn't find the sweet spot. I just didn't feel like it had
I
that.
think it was Aaron that made that comment of, did you find the sweet spot?
I know. So
That would
where was
totally
it?
be Aaron.
I couldn't feel the touch with it. It felt like I was playing with just a flat board paddle. It did absorb pace. I could control some shots with it, but I couldn't get power off of it. I really struggled with my serves. I really struggled to get the depth that I normally get. And I play with the Luz Kung Fu Panda paddle. This was not a fit for me. I played, the longest with this paddle, just never warmed up to it.
It left very little impression. I didn't ever get a feel for it. It just seemed kind of unremarkable. And I think part of it is the paddle speed was slow or something for me, or felt clunky. It just didn't flow for me, and I love an elongated. I've never played with a full foam paddle before. I do prefer to play with an elongated paddle. I play with a one-shot Arrow Infinity shot, and to me that paddle seems light and quick in my hands. Playing with the Apes, it just felt slow and clunky, and I couldn't find a sweet spot. I just couldn't get a feel for what was going to happen with my ball coming off of that.
Yeah, all fair points. And like we've discussed, like so many of those points are important as a player, especially when you're playing at such a high level and the balls are coming so quickly. It's good to know where, like, to anticipate what's going to come back. And if you can't tell what you've put out, it's hard to know what's coming back to you. And so that's a good point. I will say I tend to not like a full foam paddle. I haven't really given any of them a lot of time, but the ones that I've tried were always new and they seemed very stiff right away. And again, I like something with a big dwell time. I like to be able to shape the ball a little bit more, especially on my thirds. I wasn't as disappointed as I thought I would be. I actually played really well with the Apes. I think everything kind of set up a little high for me. Maybe my dinks and my drop shots set up a little bit higher. But, if I'd maybe had another game with it, I probably could have brought that down a little bit more. I do think the power is probably a problem. Like, it's not able to generate a lot of power. And I think I had to use a lot more of my body. Like, I had to put a lot more into everything to kind of do the same thing that I do with my regular paddle. And I'm currently playing with a Pro 5 in the Agassi shape. And so I really do feel like I had to put a lot more effort to get the power, but I think it's doable, maybe with a little bit of weighting at the top and kind of maybe around, I wouldn't have quite that problem again, but it might slow down hand speed. So, that's sacrifice. I will say the grit was probably my favorite part of that paddle. I will say the Yolas don't tend to have a lot of grit on their surface. And I remember there was one shot that kind of dropped at my feet and I sort of had to do like a little slice cut, like kind of in front of me. And I didn't anticipate it to go over. With my Yola, it probably would not have gone over. And I know my opponent, I don't remember who I was playing against, but they were not anticipating it to come over. But I think the grit kicked it over because we all kind of went, I can't believe that got over the net. And so that high grit, I think, is something that could appeal to a lot of players, especially players that do a lot of slice, like slice dinks, slice backhand. I play with more topspin, and I think grit isn't something that I normally have to seek out to create topspin. I can see how people who are struggling and want to create more spin might like something like this, who can really like get a lot more of that off the surface of it. So I was really impressed with the surface of the paddle. All right, any last thoughts about the Apes All Foam?
Nope.
No? All right. Well, thank you all for joining us for this discussion, and we'll see you back when we test another paddle. Have a good evening.